Well, hello guys, and welcome back to another Star vs. the Forces of Evil review. In this episode, we'll be taking a look at Season 3, Episodes 31 and 32, Is Another Mystery in Marco Jr. So, last time I said that the next, 4 episodes or so are going to be filler. I guess I lost that bet. I definitely say Is Another Mystery is not filler. However, Marco Jr. is totally filler. It's funny how you can tell with any episode with Marco being the centralized point is automatically filler. He's just a filler character at this point. And that's kind of sad because he is in the main cast, but as I will keep standing by, the supporting cast is much more enjoyable in this show than the main cast is. So, let's just start off with Is Another Mystery, which, hey, callback. I'm kind of sad, though, this time. So, in the first Is Mystery, we followed Buff Frog, as he was trying to figure out what Ludo was doing. This time, we follow Star, as she's trying to figure out what Buff Frog is doing. I don't know, it would have been cool to see another Buff Frog centralized episode, but with what they're going for, I guess they can't. But it starts off, he goes after Glossric because, Glossric is still a dog for some reason. I don't know. It's probably to conceal a plot point, but... I still think it would have been better if they just killed him off. And we see Tom and Star hanging out, and Star's talking about how everything's complicated it is. And Tom's like, if you need someone to talk to, I'm here, because he's trying to be boyfriend, which I still think they do have solid chemistry. I'll give him that. But Marco comes in with the letter, which they know wasn't written by Buff Frog, because it's legible. Ha ha ha, comedy. And they get ready to go on a mission, and Tom's like, Marco, you go away, do something. I want to go with her because boyfriend. And Marco actually agrees. I actually kind of like that because, they're Marco and Star always hang out, do the missions, but Marco and Tom are kind of bros, so yeah, this works. And again, they still have chemistry. But they go to Buff Frog's house and he's not there. They don't know what's going on. Tom wants to quit immediately. They don't. When this scene happened, I was like, oh god, they're going to break up by the end of the episode. Because we're seeing discourse. Knowing this show, they probably will, but not any time in the imminent future, probably. But they head over to the Monster Village, the one from episodes ago. And it's completely abandoned for some reason, which we'll get to. But they get tranked. And when they got tranked, I was thinking, remember the Jane Goodall from when we first saw the Monster Village? Is she kidnapping monsters? Are we going to do a Most Dangerous Game? That's seriously where I expected this episode to go. Nope. They have a joke in a bag. It's okay. It has whatever. But they get attacked by monsters, and the monsters tell them, hey, stop looking for Buff Frog. And then Buff Frog shows up. And hey, little Katrina has arms. That's adorable. It's both adorable and kind of weird, but I'll roll with it. But we find out that all the monsters are leaving the Mumin dimension for some reason. I mean, I know the party didn't end well last time. Way back when, what was that, episode 24? I think. Maybe it was something earlier than that. But just because the party didn't end well, are they hunting monsters now? Did something bad happen that we don't know about? Because I really don't see how their situation has changed. I mean, Buff Frog is working in the castle. I don't know what event, besides for the party not ending well, signified that all of these monsters have to leave. You know what I'm talking about? That's my problem here. Is that this is a big plot point. I mean, it kind of sucks to see Buff Frog go. He's one of the show's greatest characters. But we're losing him, and they never say why. I'm assuming it's the party. That's the only thing I can think of. But I don't know if the party is strong enough for it to do this. But as they're all leaving, Tom calls them out and is like, oh, you're all fools for leaving. And he's like, because monsters and humans can get along, because I'm half monster. And yeah, I mean, it's interesting because, well, we've seen Tom's parents, and yeah, his mother is a demon, and his father's a human. Which I still find that, I still love that scene from that episode. Oh my god, that's hilarious. But yeah, it makes sense. He's half and half, and he can get along with Star. And yeah, it's something I've always kind of thought, but it is interesting to see them actually address it. But then Buff Frog's like, oh, well, you tried your best wasn't enough. To stay, we need more than words. Again, this is actually a really heart-touching moment. Seeing him say goodbye to the babies, it's actually it's really sweet. And I did buy into the heart. I just don't think the weight behind it is strong. And then, yeah, he says that when Star is queen and everything is good again, he will return because he is a super spy. And him and all the monsters leave. And yeah, it is sad. Why does this show keeps taking all the good characters and just throwing them out the window? And I don't know why. I don't know. Maybe it's building towards something. Who knows? But first Jackie, now Buff Frog. Who else are they going to throw out the window? So our next episode is Marco Jr. This is our filler episode. This is the episode I do not give a shit about. Who cares? Marco and Star. I keep bringing this up that I think they're the worst characters in this show. And, I mean, Marco, I think he's annoying. He's selfish. I feel like he's not learned a lesson. In all the magical princess adventures, he doesn't really have a place to fit in anymore. I mean, in the first season, it was switched. He was the normal human, and Star was the outlandish princess. And now that it's taken more of a focus on like princess adventures and spending more time in Muni, Marco seems to have less and less of a point in this show. And I do not care for him at all. And then Star has her moments. I'll give her that. I just feel like out of the entire cast, she just kind of falls to the bottom, just in tandem to everything else. I wouldn't say she's the lowest. And again, I think she's a lot better than like Marco, or there's a few other characters, Marco's friends. Yeah, Star, she's just in a cast of great characters. The good ones tend to be low. It's like the whole thing, there's no such thing as a bad Rick and Morty episode, and the episodes that are just okay end up looking more bad because of it. So, I don't know if we know Marco's parents' name, whatever, but they're having another kid, okay? Now, normally in other shows, the introduction of another kid like this, I would consider a plot point that means the show's kind of running out of ideas. But because we may not see him that much, and I mean, they clearly have some form of empty nest syndrome, because, I mean, they kind of directly say it at one point. So, I don't know, depending on how they use it, this may not be that big of an issue. But we have the parents. I love the give your mother a hug. The parents are still hilarious. Honestly, everything the mother and father say in this episode are hilarious. Unintentionally or not, mostly intentionally. So I like the parents, but because they're having a baby shower, they forgot to give a gift, so they go to Quest Buy, and they run into this small New Yorker fairy who paints a picture, and he has to do like a Scantron test to get the magical essence in the picture. And then they get the painting, but the painting is really ugly because Marco messed up the Scantron test because he didn't actively take it. Which, okay, that's the most Oh my god, it's the most predictable plot ever. But Marco starts turning into the painting because, as the guy says later, life imitates art, and the art will reflect how he is now, which, okay, magic painting, whatever, it's stupid. So he goes back to the little fairy, which they missed the perfect opportunity. Danny DeVito voice. I'm just jelly because of Detective Pikachu. I'm sad that didn't happen. But he has to take the essence test again, but his hands freeze up and he starts turning into the painting. So his parents decide to take it for him. And they say, oh, who better understands a teenager than his parents? And oh my gosh, that's hilarious. For as much as I dislike this episode, because I think it's predictable, I think it's boring, I think nothing happens, the parents are still really funny. And that works. But I don't think the episode itself is strong enough to make the parents being really funny make this into a good episode. But Star eventually takes the test and correctly does it. There is the one good line in the test. Oh, how old is he? And he's what, 25 to 35 or something like that? Because of all the time spent in the other dimension with Hekapu. And hey, Marco turns back to a normal, and it's like, oh, you're not a baby anymore. And that's our ending little happy moral and another painting joke. Again, the parents are funny, but it's not worth it. It's just another generic filler episode. It has Marco as its star, and I still think Marco is boring as hell. So take that whichever way you want. And yeah, I hope you all enjoyed. Stay tuned for more. Till next time, peace.